Evicting illegal settlers squatter on your land title question. How do I evict illegal settlers on my titled land? Answer: evicting illegal settlers from your titled land in the Philippines is a complex process that requires careful adherence to the law and consideration for the rights of all parties involved. Here's a breakdown of the steps you should take based on the information provided in the search results. 1. Understand your legal rights and options. Proof of ownership. You must have a valid land title act or TCT to prove your ownership of the property. Legal framework. The primary legal framework for eviction is the Urban Development and Housing Act of 1990 to RA 7279, which replaced the previous anti-squatting law. Ejectment cases. The most common legal remedy is filing an ejectment case in court, which can be either forcible entry or unlawful detainer, depending on the circumstances. Barangay conciliation. Before filing an ejectment case, you are generally required to undergo barangay conciliation mediation at the local government level under the Katarungang Pambarangay Law. 2. Attempt amicable resolution. Demand letter. Begin by sending a written demand letter to the illegal settlers, clearly stating your ownership, their unlawful occupation, and demanding they vacate within a reasonable time frame, for example, 15 to 30 days. Keep copies of the letter and proof of delivery. Barangay mediation. If the demand letter doesn't work, seek the assistance of the barangay officials to facilitate mediation and attempt to reach an amicable settlement. 3. Legal action if necessary. Ejectment case. If amicable resolution fails, you can file an ejectment case in the appropriate court. Forcible entry. This applies if the settlers entered the property through force, intimidation, strategy, or stealth. Unlawful detainer. This applies if the settlers initially had your permission to stay but refused to leave after permission was withdrawn. Evidence. You will need to present evidence to the court, including your land title, proof of illegal possession, and documentation of your attempts to settle the matter amicably. Court proceedings. The court will issue summons to the settlers, hold hearings, and ultimately issue a judgment. Writ of execution. If the judgment favors you, the court will issue a writ of execution, which authorizes the sheriff to evict the settlers. 4. Considerations for informal settlers. Relocation. Under RA 7279, the government may require relocation if the settlers are considered informal settlers and the property is part of a government-declared resettlement site. Good faith. If the settlers built structures in good faith believing they had a right to the property, they may be entitled to indemnification compensation. 5. Preventive measures. Regular monitoring. Periodically visit your property to prevent unauthorized occupation. Fencing and signage. Erect fences or clear markers with no trespassing signs to deter entry.